Hello, everyone. I am Chris, and I am joined once again with.
JXEDITOR. That's me.
There we go.
And
That was
let's
cueing.
let's hear if I have
I'm just going to keep talking
if I
then
have
until we
audio.
do. Just give me the thumbs up if we're all good to go. We are here, of course, to
Will
talk
do.
about Ahsoka. We've got 1 week left. Next week is the big finale. Hopefully, it's better today. Hang on, I'm just going to be quiet so I can hear this.
JXEDITOR. That's me.
Okay, cool. We're good. We're good. We're good. Let's continue. Okay, we're up to part 7 tonight.
JXEDITOR. That's me.
Dreams and madness. Um,
I saw neither dreams nor madness in
It's the
this episode.
same. It's such a strange title. I still don't quite understand why it was called Dreams and Madness tonight. But there we go. Right out of the gate, we've got bath time in the comments. Which reminds me, I need to bring the chat box up to there. Still trying to figure out this, guys. Okay, there we go. Bath time says, right, listen up. I had some surprise wine, and for once, I've seen the show you're talking about in it. Surprise wine? What wine were you drinking? I was also drinking a wine before we went live. What wine were you
I'm having
drinking?
beer.
It was well boring. I don't like the general with her World War II hat. It was why my first note was JX.
I
You can
know
confirm
which
this
one's got the
earlier
World War
today
II.
when I messaged you. What was the first thing that I said? I said today's episode was really boring.
Yeah,
I
nothing. You said
I
nothing
was
really
yeah.
happened, which yeah, I stand by. I agree.
I wasn't even mad. I wasn't angry. It was just boring. And yeah, so I don't think this week, I don't think the episode, our review, is going to be particularly long. I think we're both in agreement with that. Bath Time says Thrawn is boring. I agree. They've bigged this guy up for so long and they've done nothing with him, and like nothing against the
It was nice
actor.
to see him actually doing tactics today.
Well, I guess so, but even then, it's just I don't know. The tactics just pale in comparison to things that we've seen before. Also, Thrawn always this thick in the animated show? I thought he was quite slender. He's got some chunk to him.
Um. Oh, well, he's always been able to like basically like kick the shit out of most people. He's like well trained in
Eating?
like hand to hand combat in from just military.
No, no, no.
Oh,
I'm
is he
not. I'm not
fat? Is that
talking.
what you said?
I'm not talking about muscular. I'm talking about he's got a punch. He's got a beer gut.
Oh, I did not notice that. I did not notice.
You didn't note it, dude. I'm gonna send
But
you a
in that
picture.
case, I would say no.
He's got a tummy. He's a big guy. Mm. But yeah, Thrawn. I have notes on Thrawn. I just hate what they're doing with him. They've got one episode
I
to
have a
kind
note
of
about
make
last
him do
episode.
something worthwhile, but so far all this build up and everything, like what? What are you?
The light.
Oh, the dark side and the light. Um, But yeah, I think it's a huge missed opportunity. Like they were bigging Thrawn up. Even like the whole show, the whole crux of the show seemed to fall on. Yeah, it's an Ahsoka show, but everyone's here for Thrawn. Everyone wants to see live action Thrawn. Oh, you just wait. You just wait till we get to him. We're building up to him. We're building up to him. And I don't get how this guy is going to change the fate of the galaxy. He is just a dude with some stormtroopers. I don't see how that's going to turn the tide of anything. So he's going to use this mystical portal to get to the known
Oh,
galaxy, and
Chris,
then what?
consider the rebellion as just a concept.
Well, I guess so, but what's Thrawn going to do? He has
Like
a
he's
Star
not like
Destroyer.
no. It's not about what Thrawn brings to the table. It's about bringing Thrawn to the table.
Right. Okay. Well, the show isn't convincing me at this point, let's say, but they still have one episode to pull it
That's
back.
fair.
They have one episode to pull it back. Are they going to stick the landing? Well, 7 episodes I thought were shit so far, so they've got to do a lot in that last episode to get me back on board. But before we jump into part 7, I know that you mentioned you have a note on the previous episode. If you want to bring that up real quick.
So yeah, last episode, Thrawn talked about how when they found out Ahsoka was still alive, Jedi and Night Sisters both have a knack for resurrection, don't they? Or something like that.
Huh.
So
Okay.
with Gideon's cloning and Night Sister magic, Project Necromancer is well underway.
Mm-hmm. And
Also, Enoch might be a corpse.
Oh no, he's not like he's not like Gregor Clegane, is he? He's so strong.
Well, I was thinking like
Oh, the green mist
the
thing.
Inquisitor from earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot that that was a
Like that
thing.
might just be all of his stormtroopers.
Enoch still makes me laugh, dude. That fucking mask. He's just gurning. And he's just I can't take him seriously. Here's the thing: the concept of a gladiatorial kind of Roman mask on a stormtrooper, I don't even know if in my mind that would work. But I think it's because the costume just looks so cheap, and that's not just going for Enoch as well. In this show, a lot of the costumes, especially Hera, look like fucking dollar store costumes. They look really just thrown together, and they don't look like they've got the money and the power of production behind Izzy. Look at this, the background, for example. The New Republic committee room looks fucking terrible. Like this looks like a goddamn soundstage. It doesn't look anything. It's not how I would imagine something like this. I thought it would be really grandiose, and the way it's lit and the way it's framed and it filmed and everything, it just felt so stage play. Wow, we're getting a load of comments in, by the way. I'm just going to go through these real quickly. Bathtime says, I didn't understand the fight they had with the stormtroopers. Why didn't they just kill them all? Yep. And how long have Wales had access to hyperdrive tech? Well, ask the Rebels fans, I guess. They'll tell you, I'm sure. Or there's probably like
Well, yeah, no, those whales are a thing.
pages and pages of Wikipedia articles on the Star Whales, I guess. You seen Arrested Development when Tobias joins the Blue Man group? That's better than Thrawn. Well, yeah, it's because he's played by a great actor. Not to say that Mickelson isn't a good actor as well. I haven't really seen him in anything, though, in all honesty, apart from this. Seawood Man says, storm going on or just windy? It's exceptionally windy outside. I'm guessing you can see the trees probably blowing outside my window. Because Seaworld Man
okay.
Seaworld Man has the watchful eye. He is like the eye of Sauron. He's the all-seeing eye. Bath Time says, I like a few of the episodes, but the characters are a bit annoying. If you knew nothing about Thrawn, what would you say about him from just this show? That's an excellent question. I'm going to let you answer that.
It's blue.
He's blue. He is blue. Dabba dee dabba die. He certainly is that.
I knew you were going to do that.
I honestly got nothing. He's just so...
Bath Time, I am suggesting they might be zombies. Although, actually, they did get cut up and killed, and they didn't shit green, so probably not. At least Enoch still might be, but the stormtroopers, at least the majority, don't seem to be.
Bath Time says, I liked the New Republic room because it looks exactly like the same as the Scottish Parliament. I haven't seen that. I must admit. Okay, let's dive into this episode then. Dreams and Madness, and hopefully by the end of this discussion we'll actually understand what that fucking title means, because, yeah, I got nothing. We begin with, as I just mentioned, the New Republic. And they're saying there is no proof that anything transpired. All the things that Hero is talking about, they say there is no proof. But didn't a number of New Republic cruisers enter the scene right when the giant ring of death hit the hyperdrive and went to the galaxy to get
Thrawn? But they don't have dash cams.
Oh. That's three big New and they were big fucking ships as well. They were like Home Ones. They sent like 3 Home Ones.
Wait, what are we talking about? I thought we were talking about the X-Wings.
Well, there was the X-Wings too, but they sent the big fucking ships, didn't they, to intervene?
Yeah, but that's when the whales took off.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay. But yeah, you had the X-Wing, you had Chinese guy, right, who shows up in this. Why doesn't he say, like, yes, it's everything she says is true, I was there. Many of my comrades were blown up in the Holdo maneuver that was generated by the fucking Thrawn ring.
I would just assume that such a statement would be already like in a paper that he submitted. No, sorry, no paper. What am I talking about? Flimsiplast.
And then the guy who's like the dick on the council, he says, and this is a quote: Jedi.
Every council has one.
Yeah. Jedi, false Jedi, star maps, star whales, distant galaxies, Are we to believe any of this? I'm like, you do realize that Jedi
Sure.
were a thing? There is one out there who actually helped the Republic. He's called Luke Skywalker. He has a sister who like works for you. Yeah, there was that. False Jedi.
And her droid does not need any identification.
Exactly. You had fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm sure tales have been told of him as well, and Master Yoda and whatnot. And he's like, Jedi, are we to believe any of this? It's like, they're still around. There are still remnants. We know that Ahsoka is basically kind of a Jedi, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that, what is the term false Jedi then? I'm guessing he's referring to Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati or whatever the fuck her name is. She's such a worthless character
now,
but false Jedi, I'm guessing go on.
Either that or Sabine.
Well, that too, but I guess couldn't you lump Ahsoka into that as well? She's kind of like a false Jedi.
Yeah.
So like
Honestly, know they're all kind of false Jedi.
They know that Ahsoka is a thing because Mon Mothma was saying you need Ahsoka here to corroborate your story in this hearing that you're going to have. Star maps. I believe star maps are an actual thing. They're a thing that can be used. Star whales. I feel.
Although I would say ancient star map MacGuffins are the things of fairy tales in the Star Wars universe.
And the things of Disney Star Wars, because we know that they love cramming them into near enough every single movie.
Oh, dude, it's older than that. Like everybody's like go-to come for me Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a star map story.
Yeah.
You have to go to each planet and find the star map so you can find the Star Forge, which is not a Death Star with wings.
What? Oh, that every single EU property basically had a doomsday weapon, didn't they? Like the Death Star.
Well, this one's a factory, but but it looks like a Death Star with. Hang on, I'll bring it up on my phone and show it to the camera.
Okay, cool. I'm going to move on to the next item while you're doing that. He says star whales. I believe star whales are a thing. They are a documented creature in the known galaxy. They might be quite rare, but they're a thing. And then Oh yeah, it is a
yeah, it's a Death Star with wings.
Yeah.
It somehow turns energy from the sun into ships. It's a factory. It's a big factory.
Right. Okay. It's a giant Unicron
that uses
thing.
The dark side.
And then the last thing on the list, distant galaxies. I believe galaxies can be distant.
Like
space is a very big place.
Yeah, the Rishi Maze.
Exactly.
Camino is 12 parsecs outside the Rishi Maze, which is another galaxy.
So are we to believe any of it? Well, in short, yeah, I've dismantled every single one of his arguments. So, yeah, you know what? At this point, I'm fucking glad that the First Order almost won and destroyed all of them, because the New Republic is shit.
No. That's always kind of whenever the New Republic features in a book, they are kind of like leading you towards no, it's not the worst thing that the Hosnian system is destroyed. Though I don't like that all of a sudden, those are synonyms. The New Republic is operating on Coruscant. Coruscant was actually not even part of the New Republic. Coruscant was still under the control of the official Imperial Remnant, which was led by Mas Amedda.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Okay.
It would have been really cool if, stuff on Coruscant was like old Empire, but without the, more authoritarian, less fascist.
Mm-hmm.
And, what the Imperial Remnant grew to be. I think give them the not First Order Stormtrooper helmets.
Yeah.
And let them just be the regular Stormtroopers. That's just this is what this has become.
Mm-hmm.
Because why wouldn't they use that equipment? Also, yeah, there's a lot of not horrible armor out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of around.
It's all very strange and missed opportunities and things that don't make sense. Bath Time says, I've seen a video of Star Wars to spin me right round, and I reckon I saw a reference to the prequel trilogy when Ahsoka did the same move as Anakin to get two missiles to hit each other. Probably. I don't think we mentioned that actually in that episode, but actually it'd be in this episode, wouldn't it? It's a very good trick. That old maybe evil Jedi is class. We need more of him. Yeah, I know. We do need more of him. And
we're
they've
not
done
getting
nothing
that
with him.
much more of him.
No. Oh.
God rest his soul.
Oh. And Bathsime says, I liked Star Whales, to be honest, but I wanted more made of nature versus tech instead of lol Starbus? Did that say Starbus?
Oh, in that case, you will be pleased to know that watch the end of Rebels. Because the Star Whales, that's what they do with the Star Whales.
Or watch Avatar: The Way of Water, and you'll have the same outcome.
I didn't see it.
Good. Keep it that way. It's the same movie. Did you watch Avatar 1? Then you saw Avatar: The Way of Water.
That's what I figured.
And their argument as well, it's just, bury their head in the sand. They're saying like, oh, if Thrawn returns, it's like, well, why would you fucking take that chance? Do something about it. But I don't even know if I should be mad about that.
100% chance. Or no, wait, 1% chance. Whatever Bruce Wayne said.
I know what you were trying to do. And then I'm so sorry. We have C-3PO enters the scene.
You do not need to see my identification. See, I'm on the they quoted that bus with you.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it's keeping Anthony Daniels in work, isn't it? So I shouldn't be that mad about it, but I just know there's going to be
gotten a lot of work out of this character.
There's going to be go on.
He's played another character in the past 20 years.
I think you're probably correct about that. Yeah. He must have something in his contract, but hey, if it's bringing him in the paycheck, then let him keep doing it. I bet it wasn't even him in the suit. I bet he just lended the voice now at this point.
Oh, most certainly. Yeah. It's like how they already had a guy before Peter Mayhew died.
Yeah. But C-3PO shows up, and I just go on. Sorry.
Can I just throw out that we've got it with 3PO's arrival and the things he says. We actually have a good example of an in-universe discrepancy with real-world explanations.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how why didn't Qui-Gon ever reach out to Vader? Well, those movies were made later.
Yeah.
There isn't really an in-universe one. But why didn't Hera go to Leia and ask for said approval if this and the answer in real life is two reasons. She's dead, and they need to do the whole CGI young thing.
Unless they walk into a room and they go, Leia, what have they sent us? Hope. And she just turns round and it's CGI Carrie Fisher. Yeah.
She's got she's got this weirdly moving top lip that kind of scrunches up when she says hope.
Hey, if it's good enough for one, it's good enough for someone.
Deepfake?
I have seen the deepfake version, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's perfect.
Well, hey, if it's good enough for Peter Cushing, it's good enough for Carrie Fisher as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah. But C-3PO shows up, and I know there's just going to be a bunch of reaction videos that lose their shit over, oh my god, it's C-3PO, and just to sweeten the deal, when he enters the room, it's like this really wistful fucking Star Wars theme plays. I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. I'm so over this now. Like, I'm at the point with, like, it's so manipulative. It's so many, and here's the thing: like, there's no reason that C-3PO can't exist in this time. I know who that is. And here's the thing: like, there's no reason that C-3PO wouldn't show up because he exists in this time and he'd still be around. Yeah. But it is so fucking key jangly, and I can just see right through it. It's like, Dave, we're losing the audience. Fucking bring a character in. Who have we got? We got Kenny Baker. Oh no, the little shit's dead.
I'm
Fuck.
surprised we
Anthony
haven't
Daniels,
seen
get him in.
Chewie.
Yeah, Chewie. Yeah, could bring
He's like
Chewie in.
he would be so cheap to bring in.
I know, but we have a C-3PO, and he's like, Senator Leia Organa as I don't know. She's like bullshitting, isn't she? She's covering for Hera because clearly Leia agrees with what she's doing. And
it's actually cheaper to hire Anthony Daniels to do voice work than it is to hire a sound engineer to do the sound work for Chewbacca.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. But there we go. That was basically the scene, and then Mothma's really concerned. She's like, tell it to me straight. Is Thrawn going to return? And then Hera says something like, we must prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And that would be great if Thrawn was actually menacing, but I have yet to see how he's still menacing. We've got a few more comments, and this is going to be one for you, I think, in a second. Let me just go through them real quick. Here, Chris and the guy whose name I don't know, which is my bad. Is this some kind of setup for a film or Avengers style thing? Well, his name's JXEDITOR. We will mention that again. His link should be in the description down below, but you can find him on YouTube if you just search up JXEDITOR. Do we think this is some kind of setup for a film or Avengers style thing? Well, they've mentioned that they want to do a film to tie everything up, right? With Mando and Book of Boba Fett and this. I still don't think that's going to see the light of day, but we will see. We will see.
They're either setting that up or they're setting up season 2.
Yeah. Oh, he says, like, Pedro Pascal, Boba Fett, these lads versus Thrawn. Well, I've heard rumours, and this is just rumours, so it's not a spoiler, so take it for what it is, that this series is going to end where Thrawn does escape and make it to the known galaxy, which sets up for a season 2 of Ahsoka. I've heard rumours as well that somehow the Force gets diminished, and Ahsoka no longer has the ability to use the Force, which kind of puts her on a level playing field. And then I guess you could tee that up for a movie if you wanted to, where she has to get a team together. Must be some kind of Suicide Squad, and they got to take out Thrawn, I guess. And you're probably going to have CGI Luke Skywalker who helps and does stuff, I guess, maybe. But then Bathtime says, do you lads play D&D? My DM has got his wife pregnant, so that's the end of my 3-year campaign. Yeah, well, JX, you play D&D.
I play every Friday. Hopefully, I try to play every Friday. We're supposed to play every Friday, but I think you understand exactly what I'm saying, Bath Time.
So right after that, let's keep the train moving. We have more Hayden Christensen. And Ahsoka's training with holograms of Anakin, which I guess is, we haven't really seen anything like that before.
Do y'all hear that?
I can hear like footsteps or running water.
Okay, those are dogs barking.
Oh, okay. No, I don't hear that. Then you're fine. And we have the return of Canadian Anakin, which is great. Did you catch it?
I did not. Also, we had to end Curse of Strahd early because my DM's roommates were pricks.
But the return of Canadian Anakin, I love it because I always knew he was Canadian, but I never noticed anything in the prequels. But I guess he's just letting it slip a little bit now because in the episode, was it episode 5 he was in? There was a moment I remember mentioning he said something. I think he said a boot. Yeah, well, he said the other thing in this one. So the quote is, "I won't always be there to look out for you," and it was great. I was like, "Oh yeah, Anakin's Canadian. This is wonderful." So, I've seen too much South Park. I can't help myself. But what did you think to the whole Anakin hologram training scene thing? Was it just more fan service to get him in there, or was it a cool concept?
Oh, most certainly. Here's the thing: it's definitely fan service to get him in there. But the thing is it something he wouldn't have done? No. And is there a reason Ahsoka would suddenly be playing it now when she hadn't been playing it earlier? Yes, she just saw him.
Mm-hmm.
So it works. That's essentially when it's shameless fan service, does it work in what they're trying to do? Does it work in the greater in the universe of what like does it actually make sense in the logic of the characters?
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't
Those are
really
some of
hung
the
up
two
on it. I
questions you need
just,
to ask.
yeah, yeah.
So if sometimes you might suggest the logic of the characters sort of supersedes whether it actually makes sense.
Hmm.
Case in point, Finn sacrificed in The Last Jedi, and what Rose did
I guess
was
well,
not the move,
you've played
but
a lot
it
more
was
of
what she would have done.
you've played a lot more of the video games and stuff. Have they ever done like a Jedi training? I know like holocrons exist, so are there devices like this that project a trainer where like if they can't be there
I
in
mean, that's
person?
just a hologram. I mean, that's literally just like recorded classes. We had those for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sorry, I'm just having a look at the
but what I
comments.
would say is, has there ever been something like that in usually with the Sith?
Mm-hmm.
But that's because it's a lot easier in a video game to work in a Jedi trainer than it is to work in a Sith who will train you
Yeah. Speaking of
without it
which,
being just a game about being a Sith who's trained.
Asajj Ventress gets name dropped into the
She
live
does.
action realm of
General
things.
Grievous,
You're shorter than I
Count
expected.
Dooku.
Yeah, he says it in almost exactly the same cadence, doesn't he, that he did back in '05, which is quite funny.
He says it exactly how he says it on
Yeah,
the Invisible Hand.
yeah, yeah.
It was
Um,
crazy.
yeah, to the point where I thought, well, they haven't just like taken that soundbite from that movie because they've got the actor there, so why
No
would they
way.
need to? But yeah, it's amazing. Then we cut to Hu Yang in the cockpit with Ahsoka right after the training. And Hu Yang is just spitting straight facts at this point. I mentioned this at the ending of last week. He's saying,
Word.
the odds are astronomically terrible for just hoping that these star whales are going to take
Oh
us to
yeah,
where
no,
we
of
need to
course.
go.
Well, that's how the Force works.
It's infinitesimal. It's so far from astronomically terrible is the
Uh huh.
direct quote that he says.
Yes. Yes.
And she's like, "Oh, you
With the
never
Force.
mentioned this," and he's like, "Yeah, I fucking did, bitch. Like the first time that you mentioned it, I said this was a terrible idea. But thankfully they find the exact planet they were looking for, and it's fine, and they get there in one go, and it's all good, and they're there, and they enter the minefield from Galaxy Quest.
Yeah. I got a note here about that. Hey, sorry. Let me. So when Thrawn said destroy the whales with extreme prejudice, my mind did not go to minefield.
Same. I thought he was gonna like missile the fuck out of them and kill them all. Hence the bones.
Yeah, I was expecting bombardment. I was expecting ships to shoot at them. I was expecting something to have extreme prejudice.
And it's Disney, so they can't even have the balls to kill the whales because they're
They
sweet and
just
cute.
run away.
Yeah.
I
Um,
want a stuffed whale.
I wanted the whales to fucking die. I wanted them all to be. I wanted there to be blubber all over the screen. Yeah. Anyway, bath time is craving some interaction. Bath time is craving some interaction, so let's give him a little bit of
Oh,
interaction right now. Um, Bath time says, as a massive fan of The Searchers, I really like the prequels. If you haven't seen that film, Chris, you should. I've never heard of The Searchers,
is
so
that the
I haven't
one
seen it.
where his hair is like? Is that Hayden Christensen? His hair is a thing.
It says it's the blueprint, no recipe for a lot of shots and ideas in Star Wars, and that's not an opinion. That's confirmed by Lucas. No
Oh, okay.
idea.
Then no, probably not.
Um, do a watch along of The Searchers. I mean, if there's an audience for that, I guess Bath Time would be an audience member for that. I don't know if anyone else would be interested in seeing that, but Bath Time says, it annoys me in Star Wars they all talk in a British accent and still they have the drivers on the wrong side in space. Oh, I never even thought of that. That's funny. No, that's good. Well, I don't know. Hu Yang's the driver, isn't he? And he's sat on the right hand side, so I guess That's a British-made vehicle.
No, 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 no. The droid is a second-class citizen. He's not the driver.
Okay, of course. But yeah, like the odds are astronomical, but of course the script and the will of Dave Filoni just gets them there straight away, so it's all fine. After that, we cut to Sabine and Ezra, who are trundling along pretty much the entire episode in these slow-moving, like, snail buggy things.
Oh, I've got a note.
Go on.
I've got a note about this fucking scene. I'm so mad that that Disney has just like completely forgotten this.
Go on.
So the Empire wasn't defeated at Endor. The Empire was defeated at Jakku.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess Disney forgot about their own
Ezra
war.
says, yeah, Ezra point. Well, they forgot about it fucking in Rise of Skywalker. The Endor system, where the last war ended.
Oh,
Finn.
yeah, they did. That's true, yeah. And J.J. Abrams fucking wrote Jakku. Like, well, I don't think he wrote about the history of it being like I think that was in like the video games and stuff. But you know, even then they forget about shit like Operation Cinder and how that just completely contradicts Palpatine's plans in Rise of Skywalker and whatnot.
It literally like actually there are sort of it doesn't because it just means that somebody who was being bullshitted wasn't actually being bullshitted.
Right. Okay.
I like the story where he's bullshitted though.
Mm-hmm.
It's Yupta Shu. You know the two guys that the Emperor's talking to in his throne room in Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
He's the one in purple.
Oh, okay.
The other one is Sate Pestage,
mm-hmm.
who in Legends was like the original try to become the Emperor dark side situation.
Mm-hmm. Didn't one of them take over being the Emperor after he died? Am I remembering
Sate
that right?
Pestage.
Yeah. Well, Sabine catches Ezra up on what's been going on and what he's missed out, and then
off screen,
and then the quote: "The Emperor's dead." Some people say.
That's what they say. Although it is a good point that there were only two people in that throne room that left. One of whom died immediately after.
It's like I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to like smooth everything over with episode 9, but I'm like, don't even fucking bother. Just don't even try. They're trying to do like the whole Project Necromance thing because they didn't explain diddly shit in the fucking sequel trilogy, and it's like now they're trying to do a Clone Wars and flesh things out. And you know what? If they can make the sequel trilogy work through all these various shows, then hey, fucking power to them, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Look, if you want the sequel trilogy to work, watch The Force Awakens, the Starlight edit, Last Jedi just as it is, because it's perfect, and then The Rise of Skywalker Ascension.
We're not going to go there. I don't have the strength. I don't have the will or the strength in me.
Wait. You don't want to shit on The Last Jedi? I'll mark the fucking calendar.
I want to shit on the on The Last Jedi every single opportunity I get, but not right now. It is very late. And,
is that your kink?
Sure. Right up there with watching Mark Hamill drink green titty milk.
Also, by the way, I just want to go back a sec. I love that when Thrawn learned that
Anakin was her master?
Yeah, was her master. He was just like, yeah, call off the ships. They would die if they went after her. There's no point wasting them.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do something about that where he says, like, I want to know her national security number. I want to know her inside leg measurement. Like, I want to know...
Social security number.
Sorry.
We Americans appreciate the attempt, but...
like, he wants to know all of these details. And I thought, oh, okay, he's going to do some cool shit. And it's going to be like the Thrawn we know, where he bases his things on art and culture and everything like that. And... yeah, he doesn't really do much in this episode either, which, you know, maybe they're saving something for the next one, but I think they're basically doing what they do with Mandalorian, where Gideon shows up for the last couple of episodes and doesn't really do much, but it tees up, oh, I'll be back next time, Inspector Gadget, and they're going to do that for like a season 2. That's what it feels like they're going to do with Thrawn. Or saving it for that potential movie, if it ever gets off the ground. Right around this time, Ahsoka's trying to find Sabine, and they're trying to pinpoint Sabine, and Hu Yang's like, I'm going to do a scan of the entire planet to try and find Sabine. And I'm just screaming at the screen, like, just, Ahsoka, why can't you just use the Force to try and connect
And
with
she
her?
does.
She does eventually, but fuck me, like, why'd she just open with that?
Well, as Hu Yang points out, are you sure your connection's strong enough? And it's like, I don't even know if her connection's strong enough.
Okay, well, here's an idea. Fucking try it and see if it is.
Try. Yeah, I get it.
Um, and I was just screaming at the screen the whole time, like, you have the Force, like, try and communicate. And then she's like, oh, doy, I can communicate with the Force, ahoy. And she does, and she connects with her, and it works, and it's all dandy and fine and great. I don't know if they go straight... Oh, no, because they're still in hiding at this moment, aren't they? So Thrawn is like Hades. I've seen that image online, and I did kind of think it last week, but I didn't mention it, how he's like Hades, and he's talking to the three sisters of fate. And they lock onto Ahsoka's coordinates, but for some reason the turrets and the gunshots don't hit her. He explains that he just wants to flush her out, but if they've got, like, pinpointed coordinates on her actual ship, like, wouldn't that just, like, blow her out of the sky? Like, doesn't he want to kill her? Wouldn't it be advantageous to his plan to kill Ahsoka in this moment?
Probably, but
he's like, before I kill you, Mr. Bond, it's like, Thrawn, what are you trying to do here? Ahsoka is an obstacle to you. You clearly have beef with Ahsoka. You have her coordinates, shoot her down out of the sky and obliterate this woman. But he's like, oh yes, no, we flushed her out. Like, this is all a part of the plan. And I'm like, what plan? You don't have a fucking plan. You're a terrible tactician. You're a terrible leader. And nothing you do makes any sense. I don't know what Thrawn's plan is. And it's really frustrating. I don't know what is happening. I couldn't tell you anything about him. But it kind of reminds me, actually, in Attack of the Clones, where you have the scene with Slave One chasing after Obi-Wan in the asteroid field. And, you know, it does the whole, like... And it, like, he's locked onto Obi-Wan's ship. And he's given him the entire clip. Like, he's just unloading on this guy. And all the gunshots are kind of exploding around Obi-Wan's ship and not actually hitting it. And it's the same thing with this.
they're hitting his shields.
Oh, okay, maybe. But they've got Ahsoka's precise coordinates, and it just doesn't work. Then we have...
Also, I would say they have a significantly more generalized location. They don't necessarily have precise coordinates. They have her, she is in this spot. Aim at this spot.
Mm-hmm. We've got to just bring up some comments real quick. Sorry, because it looks like bath time's taking off. He says, GG lads, please at least Google the searches in Star Wars, Chris. It will be worth your while. I will do that. I promise. I will check that out. Can I have some interaction before I leave, please? It's bedtime and I need to brush my teeth. Okay, well, consider yourself interacted with, I guess. Big up JX and D&D scheduling problems. If you do D&D live on streaming stuff, shout it out.
Interaction
complete. Then we have a warg chase with discount samurai sand people. They kind of look like samurai, right? And I swear one of them makes like a kind of noise. I was like, oh, they're discount sand people.
I will take your word for that.
I swear it happened.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
And we just have this like really boring snail chase where the wargs are chasing after them in these vehicles. And you know what it kind of reminded me of? It reminded me of, you know, the deleted scene from The Force Awakens, like the snow speeder chase?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of that same kind of vibe. And you know what? That was deleted from the movie.
I will point out that
hi, doggy. Bath time.
Yeah,
Brinsley says, "Oh, hi, doggy."
Oh, okay. Hi, doggy.
Oh, hi.
No,
Mark.
what was? Oh, bloody hell! Oh, I can't remember. Doesn't matter.
The chase.
I'll remember if I ever watched the
chase
stream
from Force Awakens. Something about the wargs or the snail ships or this chase.
Yeah, it was right before you mentioned wargs is when I got the idea.
Or you're gonna have Radagast show up like, come and get me.
These are Rustabel rabbits. I'd like to see them try.
Also, what the fuck? How do these like crab creatures have all of these ships? It it
Ships.
like it just seems really out like
Those are
culturally.
their houses.
Oh, okay.
And also, I gotta point out, they're not crabs, they're snails.
Oh,
And
snails.
having your
Yeah.
house be a vehicle is incredibly fitting culturally.
No, you're right. You're right. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. We then have a scene. I knew they were going to gear up and do something really fucking dumb. For a second, I thought they were going to have Ahsoka airdrop out of the ship and free fall. You know, it like in the final season of Clone Wars where she's like running down fucking spaceships and she's doing all kinds of crazy godlike shit, which is terrible.
I
She.
gotta point something out.
Uh huh.
I didn't see this. I was messaging you about Colonel Luvatar.
Oh, Ahsoka jumps out of a speeding spacecraft, which is right close to the ground, and she jumps
I
out
heard
of the
about this.
hatch. Like it doesn't land. It's still moving at incredibly like fast speed, and she jumps out of the hatch and kind of tucks and rolls, and it looks so fucking bad, like the CGI on her when she like
Yeah, no, I've heard the CGI on this shot was pretty bad.
yeah, like
I
she
should have
would.
actually gone back and watched it.
I don't even care if she's a Jedi, and I know that Jedi can like jump high and stuff like that, but there's a reason we haven't seen any Star Wars character jump out of a speeding craft onto the floor because they would fucking die. Um, and it looks terrible, and none of it's believable, and she'd be dead. And she lands straight into a lightsaber fight with Ray Stevenson's character, and I just have a note that says "more lightsabers!" exclamation mark. Because clearly Dave Filoni thinks that's the only thing that's exciting in Star Wars. Because we've had so many this series, we really have, and
Prequels.
it's just really it's another boring fight that's kind of pointless, and she just kind of leaves him there, and he's like, oh,
By the way, I only just noticed this episode that Shay, the blonde chick, has a braid, like a Padawan braid.
oh, okay. I feel really dumb as well from last week finding out it's Skull and Hati, which are the name of the two wolves in Norse mythology, the sun and the moon, or night and day, or whatever it
Oh,
is.
cool.
Because Dave Filoni not only has a whale fetish, he has a wolf fetish. You had the wolves around the
Where's
doors to
Gary and
the
Frankie?
hmm
Gary and Frankie.
Gady and
Those are
Freki.
Odin's two wolves.
Oh, well, he had the doors that the wolves that align the doors of the world between worlds in Rebels. He's got the Howlers in this. He's got the fucking Skull and Hati names. He's got Enoch, which is biblical. He's got all of these random connections to
Oh,
stuff.
speaking of the Howlers, jumping ahead a bit,
Uh huh.
when the mounted guys are attacking the well, actually no, we're there when they're attacking the snails.
And no one's shooting Sabine in the face again.
And I just forget this. Remember when they shoot the slingshot at the guy and it does nothing
Yeah.
because he's wearing armor? The Howler isn't wearing armor. Shoot the Howler in
Yeah.
the fucking face.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're so right. There's also a scene. Oh, you have this scene as well where Sabine's like, "Here, take this lightsaber, Ezra," and he's like, "Nah, I gave it you. I don't need it." And then he just starts using that. He's like, "The Force is my greatest ally," and he starts punching people and using the Force to slam people into the ground. I was like, "Oh, so that's how Mace Windu did it in the 2D cartoon when he was
Yeah,
punching battle droids."
of course he did.
Yeah. Okay. I
Of
was like,
course.
oh, okay, that checks out. But there's a scene where Sabine uses the lightsaber and stabs one of the samurai people, and I just thought,
Oh,
well,
I got a note here.
I was like, well, how come he
That
died?
native took a lightsaber slash to the face like a champ.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you're right. But then she stabs him right through, and I'm like, well, how come he's not just getting up like it's a mild flesh wound? Because she
Well,
got
he
stabbed
would
and she
need
was
to go
fine.
to a hospital because that's how like all these people have survived.
Yeah, but he just like falls down dead. I'm like, no, it's been established within this series that that's not how
Well, no,
lightsabers
no,
work
no. He
now.
falls down. He probably laid there for like an hour, just like waiting to die, kind of sadly.
I'm still
Oh, poor
alive,
guy.
but I'm very badly injured.
Just like feeling his organs shut down. Are you happy? I took you down this train of thought.
It's like a scene from Saving Private Ryan. He's like, "Mama, Mama,
Jesus
ah!"
Christ.
Anyway,
Telling someone they can't defeat you as you have your saber to their neck really feels disingenuous.
yeah, yeah. Ezra gets knocked the fuck out as well pretty early into the fight, and I was like, is this just because we can have like a cat fight between Shin and Sabine again? I was like, can we just have like a strong male character once, please? And he just gets knocked the fuck out straight away. I'm like, our great Ezra, everyone, right here. How did this guy survive fighting all of these stormtroopers? He just gets knocked the fuck out straight away. I'm like, oh, okay. Um, what else did I say? Oh yeah, and then Shin and the stormtroopers surround both of them, and she's got all the guns trained on them, and she says like, right, on my count, like open fire, and then Ezra's like, no, well wait, don't you want to like take us in and question us?
Yeah, they could have
And
just brought Ahsoka
and it's just
in,
like
just cut that part out.
stormtroopers, you were just ordered to fucking shoot. Why are you stopping listening to Ezra? It's not like Shin was like, no, hold your fire. Let's hear what he has to say. She gave the order to fire.
Yeah, no,
And
it was very like Rebels and Clone Wars logic.
yeah, and I just have it in capital letters. Shoot Sabine in the fucking head. It's just absolutely ridiculous at this point. Um, and meanwhile, while this is going down, it cuts to Thrawn, and he's got the like the hologram table where he can see all the different factions and the fight. It's like a Age of Empires kind of situation. And he's saying like, "Oh,
Honestly, I was immediately reminded me of something from The Flash, but I've been watching The Flash.
you have. I haven't seen all of the Flash, so I wouldn't make that comparison, but I'm sure it does." And he says like, "Oh, we're one mercenary short." And he says, "Where is Balin Skull?"
Where is our hobbit?
Where is he? I thought he was with Nori. Don't blame me. Sorry. Anyway,
I think you saw him situated and forgot captured by the goblins. Alright?
um, but really, I was like, okay, we've just had a lightsaber fight with Balin and Ahsoka, and she kicked his ass. Would Balin's presence there really have turned the tide of that fight? Like, would it really have made a difference?
That if Balin was there, Ahsoka wouldn't have also been there.
But she does show
Then
up.
it's safe to assume, yeah. Right, but what I'm saying is when he says is Ahsoka there when the mercenary is one short?
Yeah.
When he says that?
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah. Well, in that case, even still, it would have made a difference. I can't say whether they would have won or not. Probably not.
I'm just thinking back, like, if you go back to Thrawn's original plan where he's like, oh no, let Sabine find Ezra. I'm like, why? Kill Sabine? You've got
well,
one
that was
less.
just the deal that they made. I would throw out there.
I don't care.
I would say that that Balin and Ahsoka are now 1-1. Ahsoka has won the most recently, so you feel like why was he a threat? But he did win the one with the fight with Ahsoka right before this.
Well, I guess so, but it's just because this is contained in the same episode. We see him get bested pretty easily, and then right after that, it's like Thrawn's like,
nah, he can't defeat her.
Yeah, he's like,
she can't. She can't defeat him.
Or he's like, we need our man on
Whatever
the board. Like, Balin will turn the tide of this fight. He would have beat Ahsoka, and it's like, but we've already seen him get beaten earlier in the episode, so how would that remotely do anything? Ahsoka is now at a higher level than him, I guess. So I don't know. It's just a thing to point out there. I will say though, this episode does give us the only scene we've had so far where Rosario Dawson actually has a personality and fucking smiles and laughs. Where she reunites with Ezra and she lets out a laugh, and it actually almost caught me off guard. It was almost like Whiplash. I was like, oh, she does have a shred of emotion. She does have some kind of personality to the character. I was like, where was this character? Where was this side to Ahsoka that we should have been seeing all this series? Because so far she's been a boring fucking character. And I don't blame the actress. She's a great actress. There's a bunch of really good actresses in this. And they've just been given nothing. And they're all like boring cardboard cutout characters. So when Ahsoka was actually acting like Ahsoka and was smiling and happy to see someone, I was like, oh, that's that's cool. I like that. Can we have more of that, please? Could we have had more than that one scene in these 7 episodes we've had so far? But I'm sure she's going to go back to stoic boss bitch in the next episode. I'm sure that's how it's going to go down. And that's it. Is that the final scene of the episode where she reunites with Ezra? I actually can't remember what the final
Yes,
stinger
it
is.
is. And they're like, I think I'm gonna go home or something, and I'm just like, so you think the snails are gonna go with them?
Yeah, I told you we're gonna have the the
Mm,
night stormtroopers are gonna fight
escargot.
the yeah, yeah, there you go, and it's gonna be like the Ewoks fighting the stormtroopers all over again.
Mm-mm.
There we go, and that was Dreams and Madness. And you know, I hoped by the end of this conversation we would have had an answer as to why this episode was called Dreams and
No,
Madness, and
we don't.
actually,
I knew we wouldn't. We were gonna discuss the things we are. I knew what was in our notes.
I
I saw
mean,
the episode,
the
and you
writing
know
of
what
this
this
show
episode
is
didn't have in it?
the writing of this show is pure madness, but
Dreams and
I
madness.
don't know where the dreams come into it. Yeah, shit, I don't know. Maybe they fucked up the titles. Maybe this is meant to be the title of the finale or something. I don't know. It's very strange. So if anyone who is watching still, or knows, or gets to this point, and knows why this episode is called Dreams and Madness, and is clearly seeing something that we're not seeing in this episode, then please do let us know, because I'm be very curious. But yeah, I guess thoughts going into the finale. Do you have any bold predictions, which we will look back on at the beginning of next week's episode and see if we were totally right or completely wrong?
I mean, if they're gonna go anywhere with this story, the good guys need to lose next episode.
I agree, and I think they probably will. If this is going to be tying in with these films that they have planned, or film, tying it into everything, which we know they like to do. Gideon gets a mention in this thing, so you know they're clearly tying it in. It's very weird that we haven't had giant purple ape guy rebel character. I still think that's really
Zeb.
weird. Zeb. I think it's still really weird we haven't had him.
Maybe they dubbed his cameo a failure.
It's yeah, it's just so strange. I mean, I don't know how he would have worked. I don't know. But yeah, like Chopper's, like you've got the whole gang back, but you just haven't brought him back. It's so weird. Unless he's going to show up in like the last scene of the next one. It's like, oh, in season 2.
He's gotta like interact with Ezra if he lives this season
Like, did they
because
have the budget?
they were bunkies.
Did they have the budget to do like a fully CGI character every single episode? I don't
Maybe
know.
not. Maybe that's what happened.
But yeah, I
You
think
gotta remember these get TV show budgets, which
it.
like even if that's like a million, like several $1 million an episode, that's mostly going to the cast.
Mm-hmm. I oh, JX, no, come back, come back. There you go, bring him back. You're back in the fight. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I think it's just gonna be a big shoot 'em up, isn't it? In the next episode, you're gonna have more lightsaber fights because it's Filoni doing this shit.
Maybe.
Thrawn is gonna have some kind of altercation with Ahsoka, but he's gonna get away. Balin Skull's gonna do something. I think if the rumor is true about the whole Force being deactivated, which is so fucking weird, but if that does happen,
Oh yeah, about that.
or the witches like put a hex on Ahsoka or something, which makes her not be able to use the Force, that's really fucking dumb. But considering he wants to stop the cycle from happening and the same thing happening over and over again, I could see that if that is going to be a thing, I could see it being his plan rather than Thrawn's. But yeah, Thrawn's going to escape and he's going to make it to the known galaxy, and then I don't think it's going to necessarily null and void the sequels, but I think you could then gear up for that movie and bring a Luke Skywalker into it to help out, and you're going to have Ahsoka and Luke fighting against each other. You might even have Hayden Christensen Force Ghost come back, and you're going to have Boba Fett teaming up with Mando to go and do some random bounty hunter shit at the same time. Yeah, and they're going to Avengers it. And you know what? You might even get those fuckers on the Space Vespers back, too. But I think they're probably going to gear up for a season 2 of Ahsoka, maybe before the movie. So it'll probably be a season 2 of Ahsoka, and then you get that feature film after that, if it even sees the light of day. That's my prediction. I think Balin Skull is going to find a way to deactivate the Force. Thrawn's going to escape, and you're just going to have big shooty shoot pretty much. Do we think any characters are going to die next episode? Anyone you think's lined up for the meat grinder?
Nobody who's particularly important. Maybe the Night Sister lady.
Yeah, maybe. I was thinking would
Oh,
Shin die
oh,
or something, because he was talking about you'll
I
take your place at the Empire, but they won't kill her off. They'll set her up because
I
she's a female
I actually have
character.
a note about her death. Um, Hang on. I get the feeling that impatience for victory will be what leads to Shay's defeat.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a guess. Just a wild guess based off of nothing.
She's been such a nothing character though so far, and I don't know. It's a female character, and it's made by Disney, and they're saying like, oh, she'll be a place in the new Empire and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think they're going to keep her around and try and make her a right hand woman kind of character. I could be wrong, but I think they're probably going to keep her around. But
Maybe.
yeah, yeah, that's my predictions.
I don't think they'll kill her, but she might get captured.
Yeah. Well, we've only got 1 week to find out, and then I don't think we've got anything else until the Acolyte, which is going to be absolutely wonderful to behold. Cannot wait for that. Absolutely ecstatic. But that'll do it for our review on Ahsoka episode. Well, it's not episode. Part 7, isn't it? This one, Part 7. Next week, Part 8. It's going to be the finale. Probably going to be an hour long or something like that. I don't even know how. I don't even want to venture a guess how long the last episode's going to be. But it's got a lot of stuff to kind of tie up. But the pacing of this show's just been really bad and just really dragged out. I don't think it needed to be 8 episodes, which is usually the case with these shows. We'll see. Maybe they can turn it around, but the track record hasn't been good so far. So we'll see what Dave Filoni comes up next week for the finale. Until then, I have been Chris, and I've been joined with JXEDITOR.